Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the honors, the praises, the glory belongs to my Lord and Savior. His name is Yahweh by Sham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wahar, Vakar, Kwadash. Honors to the apostles and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few brothers and sisters that are listening and learning in the hopes of being saved within these last days. Because you know we're living in the last days of the last days, right? And it's unfortunate. It's a bit sad that these emotions can spring up in people. All right, and it's basically what am I gonna call this? When you're in the truth, if you're already been reborn again, see, in the world you expect the world to do that. That's the world. But things like we're not supposed to be comparing ourselves, and indirects is a form of hate and jealousy, right? Hate or admiration. Indirects can hate, right? Or admiration sometimes leads to indirects and sometimes to jealousy. It can, or envy. These are emotions. And if we're not careful, if it goes unseen or unchecked, it leads to other things. We're going to start off on, what should we start off on first, all right? The first thing is, we're going to go to James. It's simple emotions. It's that, bro, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And that goes for all of us. Anytime you get that feeling, that emotion, you're supposed to check it at the door straight away, right? We're going to go to James 3:14. But if you have bitter envying, there's bitterness that comes with envy, and self-seeking in your hearts, that self-validation. Do not boast and lie against the truth. This wisdom does not descend from above. That's not from the Heavenly Father. Them emotions are not from the Heavenly Father. The devil's using you if you have them feelings. And self-seeking exists, confusion. It says sensual, demonic. You know, envy is, that's demonic, right? You know that, right? And envy is demonic. What does envy mean? Look up this word. A feeling of discontent and resentment aroused by and in conjunction with desire for possessions or qualities of another. Brothers, 9 times out of 10 it's not your possessions, because most of these people have much more in possessions, much more. So if it's not possessions, it sounds silly because you try to wrap your head around it. Sometimes you could be, I don't know, a handsome lad. Handsome, you might dress well, you might be well spoken. Main thing most of the time is that your essence. You might be a very happy individual. You might have wisdom. There's several things that people may see in you that they want to possess in themselves. Because it does say desire, possession, or qualities of another. And this way you get malevolence. Be very careful of this. Right at the bottom it says malevolence. You know what malevolence means? It means harm. You have to be careful when it comes to jealousy or envy. When you see it, notice it, and please, whatever you do, don't brush it off. If you ever see someone that envies, don't ever brush it off, because you've heard stories, right? So you've heard stories. Any of you that live in it, you've heard stories, right? Most of the time, it was a childhood friend that you grew up with, right? This person was making it, and what ended up happening, he got set up. How much times do you hear it? You hear it a number of times. Any of you brothers that used to be in the streets, you know how it goes. Right? These are feelings. These are feelings. And if one's not controlling it and not checking it, you need to keep that person at arm's length. Look at Nipsey Hussle. That was out of jealousy. Even with the whole Tupac, not to take you back there, even with the whole Tupac Shakur thing, listen, he was out of jealousy, man. right? It was out of jealousy. You hear these things happen every other day. So when you see these things in people, you better keep that distance, because if they don't have control over it, then we're liable to do anything. Anything. It says it often involves a painful awareness of another's advantages and to desire to possess the same advantages. You see? And that's why some of you brothers also be realistic. I have a humble estimation of myself and so forth. They're going to start calling you arrogant. You're humble, you're confident. People mistake that for arrogance. You've ever heard that one? You think you're better than me. No, you think that. I've heard that one so much times. You think that. Because I don't think that. Even though there is men on earth that are better than others, they're known as the elect, but they're not walking around. The elect are not going to walk around on earth like saying, I'm better than you. Yahushua did say, I am from above, you're from below. He also says, we are not of this world. So, yeah, you have men that are higher, but we're not supposed to walk around with that mentality. But you're supposed to have a ruling class mentality. This kingdom, people want you to feel low. They want to keep you low. So this way you're going to see a lot of criticism. And this is not a bad thing. That means you're on the right path. But you're going to have to protect and keep quiet about certain things. You don't need to be telling everybody what you're doing. Certain things you keep quiet about. That's how these things come to pass as well. Don't be telling them, oh yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to. Don't be telling everybody that. Because not everybody's maybe as fortunate as you. But back on James. So where envy and self-seeking exists, self-seeking is that narcissist type stuff. Look at me. Exists confusion and every evil thing are there. Remember, it's talked about malevolence, right? So when you have envy, guess what it turns into? Confusion now, right? And every evil thing are there. This is why some people, guess how far they would go? Jealousy also leads to people doing black magic, witchcraft. It stems into that. Okay, that's why it says, and every evil work you will find there. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy, good fruits, without partiality, without hypocrisy. Now the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace who make peace. Okay. When you go to chapter 4, where do your wars and fights come from among you? Do they not come from your desires by for pleasure that war in your members? Check that. You lust and do not have. There's a reason why. You murder and covet and cannot obtain. You fight and war, yet you do not have because you do not ask. You ask and do not receive. Why? Because you ask amiss. Asking amiss means you don't really need it. You want it because that person has it. That's why. That you may spend it on your pleasures. See, there's a sincerity that has to come with this. You adulterers and adulteresses, do you not know that the friendship with the world is enmity? Because this is what happens when you're not coming out of the world. That's why it says, now I can see why it says, be separate. When you're separate, you're not going to be in that mindset, oh, envy this and envy that. I've seen people with Porsches, nice clothes, and so forth. Burberry, I'm not going to lie. I'm not really into the name brands anymore, but Burberry, I like Burberry, especially Burberry jackets. I don't look at a person with a Burberry jacket and envy them because they got that Burberry jacket and I don't have it. You part of maturing is, bro, these are emotions that spring up. These are emotions. As soon as you get that feeling, you're supposed to be checking that. Like, slap yourself or something and say, no, that's not, shouldn't be thinking like that. Sometimes people can even envy your peace that you have. Sometimes it's the things that you've overcame. So sometimes it's your strength. Number of things. Some of you're all rounders. You can do it all. All. Right? It's gonna bring jealousy, but you have to, once you see it, because the Lord will show you, you have to keep these type of people at a distance because it's malevolent. It can lead to malevolence. All right. So let's go to this now. And really, you ain't supposed to be in that spirit. You ain't supposed to be in that spirit at all. This is Proverbs 14 and 30. A sound heart is a life of flesh, but envy rottens the bones. So we don't want to be envious, you know? It says it rottens the bones. It's not good for your health. Hmm? And it says a sound heart is the life of the flesh. Sound mind, sound heart. But envy is the rottenness of the bones. So you're harming yourself. You know, when you're jealous, you got these. You're harming yourself. It's a little bit self-destructive, right? If someone's doing good, I feel good for them. If I see someone doing something, it's like, yeah, bro, I'm happy for you, man. Right? This world, this is why we gotta be separate from the world, man. Oh dear. It's like you can't even smile. Yeah, people see you smiling. Yeah, yeah, he's smiling. He's smiling. Let's wipe that smile off his. Yeah. Proverbs 27 and 4. Wrath is cruel. Anger is like a flood. You see, it says it right here. Proverbs 27 and 4. Wrath is cruel. Anger is like a flood. So it's showing you right here. All right. But who can withstand? We get into the King James version as well. You people ain't got nothing else to do, man. All right. Ain't nothing else to do. Look, you got people that look for trouble. Anger is cruel, fury is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Nobody can. Can you stand before jealousy? Right? I can't. Right? This is why, listen, I pick small circle. If you even have a circle, so certain brothers are on their ones. Someone gave me some advice as well, and said this was an African guy. He said you gotta be mindful because if someone you might have something that someone wants. They might be a millionaire, but you have something that they need. You're always gonna have people like that. Always. Look at Abel as well. Abel, guess what he done? Now guess what Cain done? He slew his brother Abel out of envy. Joseph was sold by his brothers out of envy. The Messiah was delivered to the Romans out of envy. You see the patterns. You see the patterns. Don't be broadcasting every single thing you're doing. Okay? Get to the point. People fucking insecure out here. Sorry I'm swearing, but they are insecure, man. Wisdom of Solomon. I can't help that. I can't do nothing about that. Scriptures tell you what to do. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 24. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that hold of his side do find it. So if you're serving him, you're gonna have them emotions on you. What emotions? Envy, jealousy, right? Madness, man. Right? These things spring up. And the brothers in this truth, I don't care, you shouldn't have that on you. That's of the world, man. Yeah, when you were in the world, you probably were like that. But now, when you come to the truth, what's there to envy? What's there to be jealous of? Yahweh has promised us a kingdom. What's there to be jealous of? When you know everything's vanity of vanity. Sure. Better grow up, man. You also got men, so-called men that would do this as well. Feel some type of way. Now, next thing we're going to speak about is what's it called? Indirects now. Sending indirect. And indirects, indirects are basically it's a form of it springs from jealousy, hate. Have you ever had someone that would speak to you indirectly? You're probably thinking, why is that dumb? They're speaking to you indirectly because they can't fully express themselves in the way that they want to. If anybody speaks to you indirectly, it's because it's something they want or something they're trying to express, but they're not going to do that, and they're suppressing their emotions. You understand that? So if you ever see that, there's someone that's suppressing their true emotions, but they're doing it to you in a way where it's kind of passive, man. And this is crazy. This was being taught in society. The scriptures tell you what to do. We're gonna go into that word indirect. You sending indirect, having indirect conversations when the person's right there next to you. That's a form of cowardness. Indirect means. Go into this. A quality of state of being indirect, lack of straightforwardness, deviousness. That's wicked, man. People can't even be straightforward and tell you how they feel. This is devious, sneaky. Aimlessness, lack of direction. A verbal object through his address refers to saying something indirectly, often by using a name or a reference. Lack of straightforwardness or open communication. That's a soft thing to do, man. Men are supposed to deal correctly. All that indirect stuff. Most of it comes from a form of jealousy. Right? Me, I say how I feel, bro, and I'm straight up with that. I won't hide nothing. Okay. So when you see them indirects, I got this for you. We're gonna shut off. Scriptures tell you what to do. Why are you being indirect for? Crunching up your face and crunching up your fingers. Just be direct, man. So it says, go and tell your brother, right? Hold on just a minute. Proverbs 29:9. Debate thy cause with thy neighbor himself and discover not a secret to another. It's supposed to be direct. Regardless, but that's done at a fair. People fair. Right? I've told you about this type of thing before. One more scripture where it says, go to him. Go to him. Was it 1-1? If your brother offend thee. Hold on. Scriptures tell you what to do. It doesn't say get on the phone or have a third party conversation. It don't say that. See, when you do that, that's witchcraft. Wicked spirit. Matthew's 18. Listen, it's easy, bro. Easy. What we need to do, easy. People making it difficult. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, and it's not just your brother, anyone in the world, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, that has gained a brother. You go to that person, basically. It doesn't say get on the phone. It doesn't say you speak to him indirectly, because when you're speaking to some indirectly, guess what? That's lack of communication. That could be if you say anything indirectly, it's not straightforward. It's just all over the place. That's confusion, man. Ain't got time for that. And this is how you know you've matured, you're growing, you've matured if these things are happening to you. Should I say for you? Because all things work good for those who love. If you have groups of people gossiping about your life, you're doing something right. Now, is there things we need to improve on? If you have groups of people discussing how they think you should do things, and they try to minimize how you go about doing things, you're doing something right. Because you notice that as well. Oh, why don't you do it like that? Huh? Why don't you put some more butter on the bread? Why is he eating all that chicken? No, that's too much. No, that's too much. Why are you doing this? You see, in a way, it is good because people that don't have nothing going for them, nobody's going to mention them. So you're on the right path. Right? I see they're fans, man. Haters are your fans, bro. And now a lot of things are being revealed as well. Yeah, we're being monitored. Sometimes it's also family members as well that are also monitored. You're gonna get that also from family as well. Hate, bro. But don't internalize it. Keep moving, and people are always gonna have something. They're gonna look for things, bro. Say if you're chilling out. Yeah, I want to chill out for the rest of my life, and people are gonna look for things. That means you're doing something right. I hope this is edifying. I'll shut off here. Until the next time. Shalom.